they made you undress when you got to Kotu police station. Is that correct?
Hani kade wi do wonda ma gila be na uma Kotu police do be na de na kan resel be you know wonda ma ya itu chonji madi.
Ala ko belta on rek e montron be you know mi itu chonji ngan time de borni.
No, I didn't take off my clothes. They just removed my belt and my watch and they left me like that. That's how they put me inside the cell.
Continue to tell the commission what happened after you were placed in the cell.
Joni da wa jettirde don gila ndama be nadin ma kan resel ko hon dum wadi.
Nde woni ha be yehi tay non wattu gila mi jibina mi med adare police station mi kinan de uddi horimi fofu.
Since I was born, I've never stepped into a police station. So I had it very difficult with me. Even to breathe was very, very difficult for me when I was placed inside that cell.
Noddumi police apem tay be yehi be da yehi.
When they left and the Kotu police people were just remaining there, then I called one of the policemen.
Momi kalsa won don jet don 300 so don hirande.
Then I told him, the money that you took from me, take 300 from there and buy dinner.
Pre wi mi ya ko udito wi mom fi Allah me okki ma 200 accu mi wala do so mi wali kan der rek mo jata.
I told him, I will offer you $200 for you people to have mercy on me and leave me to sleep outside here, because if I sleep in the cell, I will suffer.
Mr. Witness, can you tell this commission what was the condition of the cell at Kotu police station?
Joni ni John hit anda hida wa halande be kan resel nu won Kotu police station cell on ton ko honno ton on way.
Ay dara sona be udito tambe we demander tan wada concrete gasi ay hunde werta ko ay hunde ala.
This cell was completely bare. The floor was concrete and everything was just cement, and there was nothing else inside the cell. When they put you in there, there is nothing for you inside the cell.
Was there...
In fact, I found somebody sleeping inside that cell.
Mr. Witness, can you tell us whether there was good ventilation?
Da cell long himo wari ka iti ka hibra hendu.
Be tufini do. Seda.
There was a small hole up just close to the ceiling.
Can you tell us the size of the cell?
Cell long ya jendi makonde nda hida way halande be ko honno dum fotata.
Dum ko cell long comme ya jendi suru nu rek comme chambre simple ka net wal.
It was just a very tight small room, just fit for only one person, where just one person can lie down.
So you're telling this commission that the condition of the cell was poor?
Joni awa hino wa ini avala yude commission o wonda ma du woni cell on no don wa inon mojani.
Mojani kay.
No, really, it wasn't good.
And that it was so poor that you could not actually sleep in there.
Oh, hino wa ini ko no ton boniri non ko dum taki an ronku wala de ton sakko dano da.
E tay kadi andin hunde si meda ma hebude.
Yes, that was the condition. And secondly, somebody who has never been put in a cell, this is why it was so tight for me. I had it very difficult to remain inside the cell.
Mr. Witness, continue to tell the commission how you spent the night at Kotu police station.
Joni da wa jettirde don halana commission non ko honno toppitorda hore ma ha wawda walde ka Kotu police station ton ha weti.
Me de mi mo jeptu 200 o da wilan no jaran bayra o kimen 300 comme so da hirande.
When I told the other guy to take 200 so that they can forgive me to sleep outside, then the other one commented and said, no, you have already offered us 300 to buy dinner for ourselves. Then that's enough. That's enough for us. Then they asked me what's the problem. I said no. In the place inside the cell here is very difficult for me to remain here. Then I borrowed a telephone from them. I told them to take $100 again from my money to buy credit. At that time, why I was so confused was that my wife was heavily pregnant, and she can deliver at any moment. So this was what was worrying me so much that I found it very difficult to remain there. After they bought credit for the telephone, I was allowed to make a call to my wife. I was trying to calm her, telling her not to be afraid, not to be desperate, or let her calm down herself. But she was continuously crying. Then I talked to her to calm her down.
Mr. Witness, do you know the names of the officers that you met at Kotu Police?
Police station
no mi anda be goto non wono ton on ko soyeta awino be jetta kalis no jarambe jetta 200 on don ko soyeta kono mi anda inde normal.
Yes, the people I found there, I didn't know their names, but the one who said that they will not take the 200, as far as I have already offered them 300 for dinner, that's enough. That man's surname is So, but I cannot call his, I don't know his first name.
You've already told the commission that they allowed you to call your wife.
Yes.
Was that the only time you were allowed to call her during your stay at Kotu Police?
What to wonder on Kotu Police Station for what to go to them not
Yes, that was the only time I was allowed to call and talk to her.
At this time, Mr. Balde, were you aware why you were arrested and detained at Kotu Police?
On what to go not on that. Arno e famu ma ko hon taki be nabuma be joddi ma Kotu Police Station.
No, I didn't know what was the reason for my arrest.
Did any officers at the station know why you were arrested and detained at the station?
Be tawda ton be golla be ton be nda kambe hore mabbe nda hodi e mabbe he andudo wonde makko hon taki be adduma ton be joddi ma ton.
Ay eso endo ari bimbi o lamdike lam wi mom mi anda tay hay so hore mum tay anda.
They didn't know, because even in the morning when the SO himself came into the station, he asked me why I was there. I told him I don't know.
Mr. Witness, you're telling this commission that NIA agents
John he know any said afala the commission o wonda ma dum woni liggotobe NIA,
especially in the name of Idrissa Job,
surtout e mabbe no goto e mabbe no wiye ton Idrissa Job,
were able to remove you from your home
hebi dole den o ittama ka galle ma
and place you in a police station
police station
without anyone knowing what offense you have committed.
Te hay goto andani ko honnum sababu ko hondu wadi ko hondu bade honnum wadda ko honnum bonnuda.
That's what he did.
Can you tell this commission how many days you spent at the Kotu police station?
Joni nda hida way halande commission ko balde jelube jogima Kotu police station ton ka hoggo mabbe ton.
Balde samedi dimanche.
I spent 2 days there. It was the Saturday and Sunday.
Can you tell this commission what happened next?
Joni nda hida way halande commission ko honnu wadi tikadi gila dum don wadi.
Ay woni ha e tenen on bimbe ara won 12 bim 11 12 bim.
Then I was there till on Monday around 11 to 12 in the morning.
Anko Idrissa Job o arti.
That's the time when Idrissa Job came back there.
O hewti don on to wiye be yaltina.
When he reached the station, he told them to bring me out of the cell.
I don't say lam go to arino don on yang ko tay arin on dimas me yidan on ka tay ari toujours wa o humpite ke debba wi mo do port police station tay kanko ari do.
One of my friends who talked to my wife, and my wife informed him that I was at the Kotu police station. He was the only person who came there to see me, and he returned again the other day to come and see me. But they didn't allow him to talk to me. So that morning, that Monday morning, he was sitting outside.
Mr. Witness, can you clarify, how many times did your friend come to visit you at the Kotu police station?
Joni nda hida way labbinde do ko wattuji jelu ma ko laabi jelu o wajirawo ma are darugol ma ka police station don.
Laabi didi.
He came there twice.
On the first occasion, was he allowed to see you?
Arugol ma ko premier o dum arugol ma ko idongol nda be jonnuno mo lawol pour o wawo yidude.
We didn't see or talk to each other.
Continue to tell the commission what happened next on the Monday morning after Idrissa Job came to collect you.
Joni nda ida way jettirde don halana be ko hondu wadi e du woni e tenen on gilandama o Idrissa Job o ari ka police station don.
O ari on to o wadi call boyan got officer got ari kono ko teni para o wadi.
When he came there, he made a phone call to somebody. Shortly after his call, another person arrived there, but he was wearing the uniform of a para police officer.
Then
they told me to board a vehicle. That's the time they took me to Banjul.
How many officers escorted you to Banjul?
Kamɓe jelo liggotoɓe ka fi fengo police ɓe ma NIA ɓe kamɓe jelo feƴƴinɗoma naɓugol ma Banjul.
No, Idrissa Job rek on rek wonduno on.
It was only Idrissa Job and the paramilitary officer, the two of them.
Do you know who Idrissa Job spoke to on the telephone?
Nder on téléphone haala ɗon ndax hiɗa anduno on Idrissa Job ko kanko e hombo wonno yewtudude?
No, mi anda mo kanko hombo wonno yewtude.
No, I didn't know whom he was talking to.
Mr. Balde, can you tell this commission where in Banjul they escorted you to?
Joni ndax hiɗa wawi haalande commission gila ɓe ittuma kotu ko Banjul hedde sengo hongo ɓe naɓiruma Banjul?
Ko NIA headquarters.
I was taken to the NIA headquarters.
Anata Banjul rek ɓawo courthouse.
When going into Banjul, it was just situated at behind the courthouse. When we reached there, they told me to alight from the vehicle. I went down. There was a room after the main gate. They told me to sit down there and wait.
Mr. Witness, can you tell the commission around what time you arrived at the headquarters in Banjul?
Joni seede ndayiɗa wawi haalande yimɓe ɗum ko wattu montor wattu hombo hewtuɗon Banjul?
12.
It was around 12 midday.
Continue to tell us what happened next at NIA headquarters.
Joni ɗa wawi ƴettirde ɗon haalana yimɓe gila hewtuɗon Banjul ka NIA ka hoggo maɓɓe ko honɗum waɗiti.
Ta Musa Kinte waɗanoɗo lang arrest on arti tawi miɗo jooɗi.
I was sitting there when Musa Kinte came and found me there, the man who came into my house when they were arresting me. Then he told me, do you know why I came there to arrest you? I said, no, I don't know. Then he told me, come with me. Then we went out of that room. I followed him upstairs to a room which was upstairs.
Mr. Witness, just to confirm, this was still at the NIA headquarters in Banjul?
Yes, it was still at the NIA headquarters in Banjul.
Continue to tell the commission what happened when you were taken to the room upstairs.
Then when I went upstairs, we went into a room where it was set up like a panel. I found some people sitting down there. They showed me a chair for me to sit down. I sat down.
Mr. Witness, how many people did you find in the room? There were 7 people. Can you explain to the commission how they were seated in the said room?
Well, they were sitting around a table. So there was a side where no one of them was sitting. They told me to sit on that side and face them.
Were you able to identify all the persons who were in the room? Yes, I recognize some of them. Can you name them for this commission?
Then
yes, the first person I recognized was Idrissa Job.
After CID officer Lamin Sanyang.
There was a CID officer also called Lamin Sanyang. There was a soldier also called Buba Baji.
Bubakar Jallo.
And somebody called Bubakar Jallo.
Lamin Dabo.
And another called Lamin Dabo.
Samba Gajaga.
Samba Gajaga. I recognize these people who were there.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Can you continue to tell us what happened in the room upstairs at the NIA headquarters?
Joni ha jonda ida way haalande yimɓe ndoro ndandun suudu ka état son dow ton joni ida way haalande yimɓe ko on ɗum feƴƴi hakkude ma e maɓɓe.
Nde woni mi jooɗi kon to ɓe landi mi est ce que hiɗa andi Asamban?
When I sat down, they asked me, Vida ko hombo?
Asan Ban.
They asked me whether I know somebody called Asan Ban. I said, no, I don't know that person.
Mr. Witness, can you tell the Commission who in particular asked you that question?
Idrissa Job.
It was Idrissa Job who questioned me.
You may continue.
He asked me again, really, you don't know that person? I said, no. He told me, if you don't speak the truth, you will know what will happen to you. Because he went on saying that they know that I know that person they are asking me. I told him, if I know him, I will tell you that I know him. Then that's the time when he came and struck me. I fell down.
Can you tell the Commission, when you say he struck you, how did he do that? He
didn't take any object to hit me with. He hit me with his bare hands.
Is it correct to say that he slapped you on your face?
Yes, he struck me on my face until I fell down.
You may continue.
I got up by myself. He went on, he hit me two more, making 3 times. He was hitting me for 3 times.
Can you tell this Commission where he was hitting you?
He was hitting me on my head. Then Sambagajaga came and joined him. He also hit me and said that I refused to tell them the truth.
Mr. Witness, can you tell us how you felt when Idrissa Job first hit you on your face?
Well, it was very, very painful because, in fact, when I fell down, I got up, I was feeling dizzy.
Can you also tell this Commission how you felt when Samba Gajaga also started hitting you on your face?
Gajaga also hit me twice. That was the time when Idrissa Job called Lamin Dabo and told him to bring the stones.
Mr. Witness, before we get to the stones, can you tell this Commission if Idrissa Job did anything else to you apart from hitting you on your head or your face?
No, after he hit me, in fact, I was unable to count how many times Idrissa Job was hitting me. He hit me many times, but I can remember that Sambagajaga hit me only twice.
Mr. Witness, were you at any point ordered to undress?
No,
it was till after they brought the stones. That's the time they told me to take off my my trousers. They told me to take off my trousers. I took it off, and they told me to take off my shirt. I also took off my shirt. And they took the stones and put it on top of the tiles.
So, Mr. Witness, you're telling this Commission that you were actually undressed at the NIA headquarters?
Yes, they stripped me. I was only left with my underwear.
And this was done in the presence of all the 7 officers who were at the room upstairs at the NIA headquarters?
hino waini ɗum no heɓi wattu mo andanda wanda ɓe yimɓe jeeɗiɗo fof hiɓe tawano ka nder ndun suudu ka on étage dow ɗon.
Yes, they were all present.
And in particular, it was Idrissa Job who actually requested that you do undress.
Tigi tigi on ko o Idrissa Job woni ko kanko joni no nde yamirore pour ya waɗu ɗum ɗum woni ya ɓorto coñci maɗi.
Yes.
Thank you. You had just started telling us that the said Lamin Dabo was ordered to bring stones. Is that correct?
A fuɗɗino haalande wiigol yimɓe wondema ko o Lamin Dabo ko on jonnano yamirore wonɓe yamirno yo yahu o addo e kaaƴe ɗe ndako gonga.
Yes.
Who ordered him to bring stones?
Idrissa Job.
Can you tell this commission what type of stones you're referring to?
It was the type of stones they used to make concrete walls inside the compound, the black strong stones that they use.
For clarification, Mr. Chair, I think he's referring to basalt. You may continue.
Yes.
That was the time they made me kneel on top of those stones.
Mr. Witness, can you tell the commission when Mr. Dabo was ordered to bring the stones?
Where did he place
the stones in the room?
He placed them inside cups, which were also inside the room there.
Continue to tell us what happened after the stones were placed on the floor.
I
was made to kneel on top of the stones, and his hands were, I think, I don't know, I haven't seen the action he did, because I cannot see him at this point.
He was putting his hands behind his head.
Okay. They told me to keep on talking. That was the time when Lamin Dabo came behind me with a wire. He struck me twice on my back.
Mr. Witness, you are telling this commission that at this point, you have been made to kneel down with your bare skin on basalt and still being hit on the head with a wire by an NIA agent known as Lamin Dabo.
Yes.
Can you tell this commission how you were feeling at this point?
It was so painful that I was unable even to speak. I locked my teeth together because of the pain, and I was shaking. Then Musa Kinte also came and slapped me and told me, "Aren't you talking?" When they started hitting me, there was one of them who was sitting down there called Bubakar Jallo. Then that man left the room. Then he came back into the room again.
Mr. Witness, do you know why Bubakar Jallo left the room at the point where most of the NIA officers were hitting on you?
Bubakar Jallo jo kanko o yalti ka yasi wattu mo andandama wandama NIA be hewbe be andandama hida wonde mabbe kan suudo be har hino lappude makko hondum taki kanko o yalti ka yasi.
No, me andan sabu hondum.
No, I don't know the reason why he went out. Then when he came back, he told me. Then he told me to get up. Then when I got up from the basalt where I was kneeling, he told me to sit down on the tiles.
Mr. Witness, at this point, can you tell this commission what injuries you had sustained?
Joni nda hida wawi haalande yimɓe joni on jamanu fewno ɗo ni ka wonɗo guelanɗe woɓɓe waɗuma ɗe baɗe ko gañoñde sifa honɗum heɓunoɗa e ɓandu ma ɗum.
Well, all my knees were bruised because I was kneeling on top of those stones. In fact, there was a small stone which went into my body, into my flesh. When Idrissa Job came, he just kicked on that area and the stone fell down.
After CID officer,
then the CID officer there said to him, no, wait.
On day me esco I made our to the high jola business, jola go to business.
Then he asked me, have you not done any business with one Jola man?
How can I make you do the business? What the business?
Yes, I said yes. I did business with one man.
Sorry, Mr. Witness. Was the question whether you did a business with a man or a woman?
Landi dinko landi mako ko jola jongo gorko ndako debbo ko be landi mako.
Ko landa ko gorko o landoto no.
He was talking about a man.
Landi lang mo wadno jola mo wadno a business honno wete.
Then he asked me, that Jola man you did business with, what was his name? I said, well, it was a woman. It was a woman, sorry. It was a woman who was a palm oil seller.
He
told me, that woman, was there not a middleman, a man between yourself and that woman? Yes, I said, yes, I know the woman's husband. He asked me the woman's husband, what is his name? Then I said the woman's husband is called Lamin Jamme. He asked me, does the man have another name apart from Lamin Jamme? I said, no, the only name I know about him is Lamin Jamme. He asked me whether I know the man's telephone number. I said, yes, I know his telephone number. He asked me to give him to narrate the telephone number. Then I gave him the telephone number. It was a Gamcell telephone line, and I gave it to him. Yes, and at the time he showed them the number, he showed the others and said, yes, this is the very telephone number. He said, if you had given us this information, you would not have suffered like this. I told him, I answered your questions. The questions you asked me, those are the questions I answered. If you had asked me about this man and the number, I would have given you also the number and the answers you need.